Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Unity Orlando. Our opening statement this morning is, I celebrate the vast possibilities for my life. Let's all affirm that together. I celebrate the vast possibilities for my life. All right, let's all close our eyes, take a nice deep breath in. Let's affirm that together in the silence. And so it is. I didn't go too long, did I? I felt like there was a party in my head celebrating my life.
That's good.
Let's all rise and we'll sing our joy song this morning. It's called Sacred Space.
Irish.
I'm standing in a sacred space, one full of safety and grace, one feeling like my own place, and it's here, 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 and it's here. I'm living in a sacred space, one full of safety and grace, one feeling like God's own place, and it's here, 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 and it's here. I'm standing in a sacred space, one full of safety and grace, one feeling like my own place, and it's here, 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 and it's here. I'm living in a sacred space, one full of safety and grace, one feeling like God's own place, and it's here, 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 and it's here. All right, thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, Unity Orlando. How's everybody today? Good to see all your beautiful faces. I'm Susan Francis. I'm your platform speaker. Welcome to those who are online. Do we have any visitors? I don't think so. I recognize everyone. And I recognize some faces that haven't been here in a while. Welcome home. All right, let's see. Great news. We have reached our goal, the $10,000 goal for refunding all the paint expenses. So I thank you so much for your contributions. Okay, you ready for this? Our next focus is our roof situation. Just look up. We had a couple of tiles down this morning, so from all the rain. So hopefully we're going to begin trying to to replace at some point the roof. Okay, let's see. Prayer chaplains, of course, are available to pray with you after service. I'm a prayer chaplain, and Paul is one as well today, this morning. We'll be happy to pray with you if you need prayer. Also, every evening at 8 p.m., we pray as well, so join us if you can. The September affirmation is, my life is in balance and in order, and all is well. That's a good one. Also, World Day of Prayer is this Wednesday, September 11th through the 12th. You can participate online at unity.org. Also, we have prayer request papers. Brian has some at the back there. Fill them out, and you can put them in the collection bag or in the box, or give to Linda. The prayer chaplains will pray over them, and then they get sent to Unity Village, and they'll be prayed over for a month. Okay, let's see. Reverend Bob's lesson today is seeing truth. But before I turn it over to Brian, I have a little story to tell you. There was this large company, and it was feeling like it was time for a shakeup, so they hired a new CEO. And this boss was determined to rid the company of all slackers. And so on a tour of the facilities, the CEO noticed that there was a guy leaning against the wall, and the room was full of workers, and he wanted to let them know he meant business. So the new CEO walked up to the guy leaning against the wall, and he said, "How much money do you make a week?" And a little surprised, the young fellow looked at him and he said, "I make $300 a week. Why?" So the CEO reached in his pocket and he handed him $1,200 in cash. And he said, "Here's 4 weeks' pay. Now get out and don't come back." Feeling pretty good about himself, the CEO looked around the room and asked, "Does anyone want to tell me, what department this guy worked in?" And so from across the room, someone yells, "He's the pizza delivery guy," which he promptly dispatched. So there you go. No pizza anymore for them. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Brian.
All right, thank you, Susan. Here's a song we don't do a whole lot, so you might not have ever heard it. It's called Unified in Truth, but I do remember the exact time that I wrote this. It was 2002 in February. I think January, February, something like that. I don't know why I keep these things in my head, but for this one, it just stuck out really good. It's called Unified in Truth. This world we're in is at the rainbow's end. The colors of light shine through me bright. All the colors are within. And unified. Colors glow so bright. The sun will shine its warming rays to last throughout my days. And I'm unified. I'm okay and I'm all right when I'm living in the light. And it feels true, Lord, I know it's true. What broke today came back today. What splintered my soul came back and mended me whole, and now I'm in the truth, and I'm unified, and I'm okay and I'm all right when I'm living in
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody in the band. Well, here we are, firmly in September. Good morning, all of you at home, all of you who are here. Good to see you. Did you get enough rain? Yes, we have a little house on a lake, and usually the grass goes out and then there's a nice drop off. Now the water's all the way up to the grass line. And we haven't even had a hurricane yet. Well, this is Florida. This is why we live here. Well, I'm putting this off, but here we go. Today, the subject is seeing truth. This is an abstract and maybe difficult subject to deal with, you know. Basically, we're saying everything you're looking at's an illusion, and it sure doesn't feel like it is. But here we go. In John 8:31 through 32, Jesus said, "If you abide by my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and that very truth will make you free." You'll know the truth, and the truth will make you free. That has been mind-boggling to people for thousands of years. You're going to know the truth. He's saying, if you follow in my footsteps, if you follow the path I've laid out, you will begin to see with spiritual eyes. You will begin to see beyond the physical world. You will see there is so much more here than you imagine. And when you finally see the truth of your being and the truth of what is eternal, it'll free you up from all the limits and the fear of the passing show. Because the show is always passing. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. We define a difference between truth and facts, okay? The truth about you is what's eternal about you. The fact about you is, well, the fact about me is I'm getting older. The fact about me is I'm about so high, and this body doesn't like it when the air conditioner goes out, as it did last week. The truth about me is my sinuses get inflamed when such things happen. No, that's not the truth. That's a fact. But the fact is passing. And the facts, though they appear amazingly intimidating, the facts of the appearance of the outer physical life, though it seems to have complete charge of us and control us, it doesn't have to. If you can see what is eternal, that very seeing of the truth begins to alter the facts. The facts begin to change because, quite frankly, the facts are always in motion. They're always in motion. I've known people on the verge of death. The fact was, they're going to die in the next 24 hours. And then they make these big comebacks. And they live for several more years. The facts change. Truth does not. In truth, you are a spiritual being, a being of light. In the temporal realm, which is what we do when we come here to earth. We enter this temporal existence where everything's changing, and the physical world and the physical vehicle we use and all of that appears to be subject to physical law. The truth is, you cannot be killed. The fact is, your body can die, but you can't be killed. That's how we define the difference between the two. We are living in a physical world of illusion. Whoa, that's a big one because it doesn't seem like an illusion. On the other hand, let's get this straight. I'm reading articles on the web these days that are put out by scientists who are saying they believe we're actually living in a hologram. Well, they're starting to sound like spiritual teachers. You know, science and religion have been climbing the mountain from opposite sides. Science and spirituality are almost looking over the top of the mountain into each other's eyes at this point. So, when a scientist says, we're actually living in a hologram, I go, yep, I hear you. The temporary construct may not be in line with God's eternal reality. I mean, think about it. Lack is temporary. It's a temporary construct of the physical world. There is no lack in the spiritual realm. But when we're caught in the temporal realm, we're pretty sure we haven't got enough. We're pretty sure life is starting to give us problems. We're pretty sure things are slipping away from us. And if your reality is in the physical world, I'm sorry, by definition, it is temporal. It is changing. It is slipping away. But spiritually, you're a being of light who came in and is wearing this body. And if you begin to remember yourself as this radiant being of light, you free up from the dire fear that is created by believing you're this vulnerable temporal being with everything slipping away. The Buddhists have a saying, it's all Maya, right? It's all Maya. The outer world's an illusion. Now, it's an illusion we're in and we have to deal with, no doubt about it. But the memory that it is an illusion, that I have a reality beyond anything the world can do to me, that memory can empower you. Jesus said, that which is in you, is in 1 John, the letter. He said, that which is in you is greater than that which is in the world. That which is in the world is temporal. That which is in you is eternal. In the movie Dune, actually, I read the books long ago. But recently, I was looking at the movie, and it brought up the one thing, it's straight out of the book, but the main character, a young man named Paul, is being tested. Paul Atreides is being tested spiritually. And he's not told exactly what's going on, but he's to stick his hand in this box, and he does. And then the older lady that is testing him and is whatever, the Bene Gesserit, she holds a needle to his neck and says, "If you remove your hand, I will kill you." And then the box starts burning. And he can feel his hand burning. He feels the extreme pain. He feels the flesh burning right off of his bones. He feels it burning to a nub, but he knows if he removes his hand, he'll die, so he leaves it there. And she finally decides he's passed the test and says, "Okay, you can pull your hand out now." And he expected to see nothing. Instead, he sees that his hand is still perfect. Everything's just fine. The fire was an illusion, a very real one, but an illusion nonetheless. And all that pain you feel going through the world, it's the fire. It's an illusion. You got to deal with it. But if you know it's not real, it empowers you. Last week, I talked about what I call the law of reality. And I'm going to do it again, except rephrase it just a little bit. It goes, the more you see the truth, the more you see what is eternal. The more you see that it's all Maya. The more you see this that I'm facing is a temporary illusion. I'm in a hologram, and this is a temporary illusion. The more you see that, the more that through prayer you can alter the temporal physical circumstances that you're up against. The more effective your prayers are. If you know the outer world does not have the power over you that it tries to tell you that it does, your prayer world becomes very, very powerful. If you believe the outer world is real, you're going to have a hard time changing it. Because, once again, be it done to you according to your faith. Suffering feels real. It does. But all suffering is an illusion because it's not eternal truth. It's part of the passing show. It's part of the temporal world that we have to work with. Years ago when I turned 30, maybe it was 32, my wife announced to me that our marriage was over. So we then went on through a divorce. I keep saying to people, it takes two people to have a marriage. Can't one of you say, I'm still married, and the other one not? You know, it takes an agreement, too. So I ended up divorced. And for some reason, I had a very hard time coping with this. And it was probably the most pain I'd ever experienced in my life up to that point. And here I was. I'm walking around totally depressed. As I've said in other talks, the only escape I ever got was by getting outside of myself and helping other people with their problems when they came to me. Then I had no pain while I'm helping them, but as soon as I come back out and think about my life, I'm miserable again. Finally, I said, okay, I want to know the source of why it hurts so much. What is the source of my pain? You say, well, it's obvious you got divorced. I'm sorry, that is not innately a source. Where does all this pain come from? And so I went into meditation probably for a month. Every day I'd sit in my office, I'd turn out the lights, put my back up against the wall, and sit there on the floor cross-legged, and I'd feel my pain and try to follow it. Can I find its source? You never find your source by trying to go, I don't feel it. No, go ahead and feel it. Burying it doesn't do you any good. You, in the end, want to release it. To do that, you may have to feel it. So I'm there and I'm feeling my pain. And every night I'm going, what are you putting yourself through this for? I said, I want to know what causes this. Can I find that point where this pain is emanating from? And after a month of meditating on feeling my pain, I reached a point where I had my answer. And when I came out, if you ask me, what was the source of your pain? My answer was exactly this: nothing. It's a switch. You turn it on or you turn it off. It's a choice. You say, what kind of a choice are you talking about? Well, you either take offense and resist where you are, and we call that pain, or you don't. If you don't hate what just happened, just is, you've turned the pain off. It just is. Resistance is the cause of all emotional pain. I don't like where I am. I don't like that this happened. I don't like that. Okay, got it. What if you just said, this happened, not I don't like that this happened? Well, resistance is the cause of all emotional pain. Therefore, it's not real. That is, it's not eternal. It's not part of your soul. It's not going to go on with you forever. It's something you're doing temporarily. It's part of your temporal experience. And if you see the truth, that you are not this human personality. You're an eternal being of light who's wearing this personality and this human body in order to experience this temporal existence. But it's not who I am. The moment you know that, you know the truth, and that very truth will make you free. Say, okay, well, emotional pain, I understand. That's a construct. But physical pain is real. And I went, yeah, boy, does it feel real. And if there's anything, I often say, I am not afraid of dying under any circumstances. I am afraid of pain. And yet I know it's not real. It's an electronic message in my brain. I grew up in a household where my dad was not only a minister, but he was a hypnotechnician. And he worked with people with hypnosis all the time. I became a trained hypnotist at 16. But the bottom line is, I understand that if you tell the brain there's no pain, there's no pain. Simple as that. It's gone. So I guess it's, in the end, not real. Well, I'll just have a hypnotist put me under and say I can never feel pain again. I'm sorry, that would not be good. You see, though it may not be real, it's part of this temporal existence. Physical pain is an indicator light that tells you something about the hologram you're dealing with. And sometimes you need to pay attention to it. But in the end, you're a being of light. This temporal being is going to fall away, and you're going to go on. You were before you came into this life. That spiritual part is within you right now, and it will be long after you lay aside your body. So, the scripture this whole talk was based on is John 8:31 through 32. Jesus said, "If you abide by my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and that very truth will make you free." If you're my disciples, you will begin to know the majesty that's inside of you. You'll begin to see with spiritual eyes. You'll begin to see that the physical reality is not the ultimate reality. It is the temporal reality, which means it's the passing show. And if you can see the eternal part of yourself, it frees you up to be much more powerful even in this life than you could be believing you're only human. So, seeing the spiritual reality empowers you and empowers your life. In John 4:35, Jesus said, "Do not say that after 4 months comes the harvest. Behold, I say to you, lift up your eyes and look at the fields which have turned white and have long been ready for harvest." Prayer is about touching the higher part of yourself. Prayer is about touching the spiritual world, the eternal world, the part that is not the vulnerable physical appearance. So he says, when you're in prayer and you're praying for something, see the spiritual truth of what you're praying for and see that it is already fulfilled. In the higher realms, this is already done. This is complete. And when you see that and when you know that, it carries you beyond the limits of the illusion. The illusion will tell you it can hold you back. But prayer works miracles. I've seen miracles. I know you have too. And all that means is that we reached beyond the temporary illusion and touched the eternal truth to alter the hologram, which as a child of God you're allowed to do. In John 20:17, no, Matthew 16:15 through 18. Yeah, you're allowed to speak up and tell me when I miss one. Jesus said to them, "Who do you say that I am?" And Simon Peter answered, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered, "Blessed are you, for flesh and blood did not reveal it to you, but my Father in heaven. Upon this stone I will build my church." What did Peter do that Jesus was praising so heavily? What Peter did is he saw Jesus' spiritual radiance. They'd all been discussing it. I don't know, some people say your Elijah returned. Some people say Joshua or Jonah or Jeremiah, that was it. And some people, they started talking about who he could have been returned. Okay. And he said, who do you say I am? And Peter just blurts out, thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. You are a radiant being of light, an expression of God. Jesus said, good. You just saw past the illusion of my Mideastern body, probably with a beard, because that's what was done back then, of this raggedy guy who's walking around trying to explain to people that there's more to life than they see. He says, I see. You are the Christ. I see the Christ Spirit inside of you. And Jesus said, that's it. Flesh and blood did not reveal it to you. You are not looking with physical eyes. You are now looking with spiritual eyes, which is what I've been trying to teach everybody to do. It says, upon this I will build my church, upon this rock. Seeing the Christ within, seeing that Christ Spirit within, is the foundation of Jesus' teaching. Whether you're seeing it in Jesus, whether you're seeing it in yourself, or whether you're seeing it in others around you. The ability to see with spiritual eyes that the Christ Spirit is there. Now, the truth is, nobody exists without this Christ light inside of them. That's the light of life. And without it, well, it isn't there. So everyone has this connection to the creative light of the universe, to God, to our source. You say, no. He was just talking about Jesus, but that's not what Jesus was talking about. And I'm going to build on your ability to see with spiritual eyes and see the Christ light. Whether it's in me or beyond, you say, no. Jesus was special. He spent his entire time trying to convince us that we could do the things that he did. And in John 20:17, he says, I am ascending to my Father and your Father. My God and your God. He's trying to understand we have the same relationship with God that he does. We just can't see it. And if you can awaken to the vision of seeing that Christ's Spirit, not just within Jesus, but within me, and then I behold the Christ in you. Big unity saying, isn't it? I behold the Christ in you. Now you're beginning to see with spiritual eyes. Jesus made it clear, it's my Father, your Father, my God, your God. What you see in me is in you too. And then I'm going to hit Paul for a moment. Ephesians 5:8-9. Live like children of light. For the fruits of light are found in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. Okay. I find it amazing. Those who say they take the Bible literally. When it comes to the actual mystical experiences, they say, oh no, we're going to take that allegorically. He's not talking abstract here. Live like the children of light, because you are the children of light. That is, you are light beings in this body. We don't mean it abstractly. You are beings of light. And if you can touch that light inside of you and let it radiate into your life, the fruits of light are found in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. So you want to practice out of this? The practice is meditate on seeing yourself glowing in light. It starts as imaging yourself glowing in light. But if you hold it long enough, you reach the point where it becomes real. I've shared with you a number of times my experience in which I was told, I was in my 20s when I did this one, I was told that, meditating on light, all you have to do is image yourself glowing in light and hold that for 20 minutes. Sounds easy enough. It's actually quite hard. You start with that speck of light at the center of your being, and you grow it out through you. Well, this is motion, so this is fairly easy to keep your attention on until you're going out 6 inches, 12 inches, 3 foot in all directions. Now you're this wonderful, radiant being of light. Now hold it. Whoa! This is the point, because we're no longer in the transient motion phase. We're in the being phase. I am being a being of light. And so I kept having to pull, my mind would wander and I'd pull it back. But I held the image, used my self-discipline to hold that image of glowing in light. And at some point, I crossed over a threshold. And all of a sudden, it was effortless. I wasn't imaging myself glowing in light and holding that image. I simply was glowing in light. And I was able to stay there for, say, another 10 minutes or whatever. I don't know what the timing was. You never know when you're in meditation. But I was there a while. Probably half my meditation time, I was just glowing in light and experiencing it. But that's not the end of the story. Yes, if you concentrate long enough, you can reach a point where it no longer is an image, but it's something you're really experiencing. But the end of the story was what happened the next day. I got up and everything in my life worked out perfectly. Everything came together. I got my work done in half the time that it normally took me. Everything. If I went someplace, everything was all set up for me and flowed. I could not believe how smoothly life went the day after I had experienced myself as being a light being. Because the fruits of light are goodness, righteousness, and truth, right? You want to change the hologram? Experience yourself as a being of light rather than simply a body. That alone will alter the hologram. So, since we're talking about the idea of seeing the truth and how the truth then sets you free of the limits that the physical world puts on you, just seeing the truth changes the hologram. I mean, in subatomic particles, they'll say, if you put your attention on something, you change it. So here we go. How do we know the truth and have that very truth set us free? I got 12 statements that turn us away from the illusion of the physical world and center us on the eternal spiritual truth. And if you can spend time centering on the eternal spiritual truth, it sort of breaks some of those chains, some of those bonds that the physical world has over you. The first one's real simple. God is here and all is well. Well, that one's real easy when everything's beautiful. I'm suggesting you use it when everything goes wrong. God is here and all is well. God is here and all is well. That in the end should free you up from fear. Fear begins to depart. Once you spend time in meditation or affirming over and over, concentrating on the idea, God is right here, right in the middle of this that seems so intimidating. God is here and all is well. That is a statement of truth. And if you know the truth, it will have an effect on your hologram. Number 2, when you pray, you say, I see the field white unto harvest. My prayer is complete, and I'm patiently waiting for manifestation, and manifestation must follow. If it's done in spirit, it must eventually take form in my life. My prayer is complete. I see it fulfilled. It's complete in spirit. And therefore, I'm going to hold to the truth that this is complete, fulfilled, until it manifests in my life. Temporal world seems to have its own timetable, so, but the important thing is, it doesn't have any power over me. It eventually has to show. Number 3, I am a soul. I am an eternal being of light, temporarily wearing a physical body. Well, remember that seeing yourself glowing in light? Well, you can use that to accomplish this. But the bottom line is, I am soul. I am an eternal being of light, temporarily wearing a physical body. Remembering who you are can make all the difference in how the world relates to you. Another truth to center on. I behold the Christ Spirit in me, taking command of my life. This is number 4, right? I behold the Christ Spirit in me, taking command of my life. There's 2 parts to this. First part is you actually have to see that the Christ Spirit is within you. You have to see that on a soul level, you are connected to the Christ Spirit. On a soul level, you are a Christ being. Whoa! But if you can see that and know that truth, it frees you up from all the restrictions of this human self. This human self may be doing this and doing that, but part of you says, it really doesn't matter. This is temporary. Because I am something far more. That which is in me is greater than that which is in the world. 1 John. Number 5. Another statement, I behold the Christ Spirit within everyone I meet. Okay, this practice will help to free you up. Everyone you meet, you start with the people you like because that's a whole lot easier. And I behold the Christ in you. I behold that inner soul, that inner essence. Have you ever known someone that you were very close to and felt, I know your soul, and I know you're more than this? That's I behold the Christ in you. Number 6, there is no lack, for God is the source of my supply. Can the hologram look like there's lack? Oh yeah, it's very good at that. But ultimately, there is no lack. You say, wait a second. I can lose my life and my body. Oh yeah, that can happen. You can't die. You're a being of light. You're a soul. That's not subject to all of this outer stuff. Your present experience seems to be. But what's intriguing is the more we concentrate on the fact that God is my source, and therefore there is no lack, the more we concentrate on that truth, the more, how did he say it? The fruits of light are goodness, righteousness, and truth. The more that begins to fill our lives, the more the lack seems to dissipate. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Number 7, darkness is simply the absence of light, and when I turn on the light, the darkness subsides. It's important to know that. There are major religions and philosophies of the world that want to tell you there is this huge battle between light and darkness. It's not a battle. If there's light, there is no darkness. And if you're encountering darkness, it means you're blocking the light out. So let it in. Those areas of your life that seem so dark, fill them with light. The things coming up that you fear, fill it with light. Move into all the areas of your life that express lack or need or discontent. And turn on the light. In your meditation, go in and turn on the light in each of these areas. Number 8, all minds are connected and we are all one in spirit. A great deal of getting command of this life is about understanding oneness versus separation. That was Jesus' teaching. And so if you're trying to take Christianity as us versus them, you have failed from the beginning. You can only understand what Jesus taught from a consciousness of oneness that he understood totally. That's why he never shut people out. He never said, oh, you're Samaritan, you're impure, you're not, not to be respected. You're Roman, I'm not going to heal you. Well, of course he healed him. His message was for the whole world, right? All minds are connected. You get on an elevator in a bad mood, everybody feels it. You walk into a room, you can feel what's going on in that room. And if you bring a different consciousness in, they feel that. We block it out, but our minds are all connected. And the more we awaken to that, the more we bypass the restrictions of a physical world based on a belief in separation. You and I are different. Are we expressing in different ways? Oh, absolutely. Are you unique? Yes. Are you a part of me? Yes. When you can put those two together, you understand the truth. Number 9, now is all I have. Another statement of truth. Now is all I have. I live my life fully right now. Say, oh, I like that statement. Okay, then turn it into a practice. Right now, become extremely, intensely aware of everything around you. Become extremely, intensely aware of the colors, the beauty, the smell in the air, the life, the buzz of the insects, the presence of the people who are sitting around you right now, the feel of the pews underneath you. Everything, become extremely aware, intense awareness. That's an experience of truth. That's an experience that will carry you beyond the physical limits in which you try to just block everything out and pay no attention until I'm doing something that I want to do. Okay. And 10 is the lead-in to 11 and 12. They just kind of run together. I can turn my attention from the illusion of darkness to the truth of light. So every time you come up with something and it feels dark to you, if it's filled with fear or pain, it's dark. That's what darkness feels like. You're thrown into the outer darkness, Jesus said, to learn. The school of experience. But in either case, I can turn my attention from the illusion of darkness to the truth of the light. So when you're in a situation, turn your attention to the light. You have control over that. And 11 plays it out like this. Pain, lack, sickness, loneliness are temporary and therefore not real. I can choose to turn away from the illusion, to turn away from the temporary and concentrate on what is eternal. And what's eternal? That's 12. Joy, love, beauty, harmony, and goodness are all that matters in this world. Everything else will fall away. Everything else is part of the passing show that is here and then is gone. Goodness is light. It is real and will travel with us throughout eternity. The only thing you take with you out of this life is the love and the joy that you shared, the beauty that you cherished, the harmony and the goodness that you experienced. That will go with you as energies. It becomes part of your soul. So, if you wrap it up, concentration for a time on any one of these statements of eternal truth will free you up from the oppression of the temporary challenging illusions that we face in the physical world. And it'll open the way for goodness and righteousness to once again flow into your life. Or stated as Jesus did, you shall know the truth, and that very truth will make you free. Let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath and sigh it out. And go within to the very center of your being. Just leave the outer world behind and go within to the inner realm. And there at the center, I am. Find there at the center of your being, at first, which seems like a speck of light. But as you place your attention on it, it can grow into a ball. And as the light claims more and more of your attention, you can feel the light expanding throughout your whole body, throughout your whole being. Feel it moving through every cell in your body. Feel the light penetrating into every corner of your mind. Feel the light filling and soothing your heart and all of your feelings. And then expanding. Out 3 inches, 6 inches, all around your body, and out a foot. I am a being of light. Now move it out 3 foot, because light can permeate the pew, the people around you, everything. Experience your light out 3 foot in all directions, up and down and side to side. Front to back. I am an eternal being of light, temporarily using this body temporarily commandeering this personality so that I can walk through this temporal existence. But here at the center of my being, I know I am soul. I'm an eternal being of light, temporarily wearing this physical body. And here at the center of my being, I am connected to the same Christ Spirit that Jesus Christ channeled so thoroughly. And I need to open my awareness to it. I behold the Christ Spirit within me. I behold the Christ Spirit within me taking command of my life. Feel the personal self giving up just a little bit of its control and saying, I am willing to become less so that the Christ Spirit within me can become more. Just as I see that same Spirit that was in Jesus Christ shining through me, I behold with spiritual eyes that it moves through everyone. It is the light of life that gives everyone their life. As I look around at the world around me, to everyone in my world, I quietly inside myself know I behold the Christ in you. I behold the Christ in you, the highest. I behold the Christ in you. And with spiritual eyes know there is no lack. For God is the source of my supply. It can come through many different channels, but God is the source. Darkness is simply the absence of light. So turn on the light in all the different areas of your life, in your body, in your home life, in your family life, in your life with your friends, your business dealings. Turn on the light, bathe them in light. And realize as God's light fills my awareness, joy, love, beauty, harmony, and goodness now freely flow in my life. And I am grateful. Thank you, God, for the gift of life. Amen. If our usher will come forward, we'll prepare for our offering. For those of you at home, if you're new, this is the way you give your offering. You go to the home page at the end of service. You can hit the Donate Now button and use either a credit card or PayPal. You can pull off our address and mail us a check, or you can use Zelle. Though if you use Zelle, you have to use our email address, unityorlando@gmail.com. Okay, let's hold our offering in our hands if we're here. If you're at home, hold the thought of what you're going to give. Let's affirm together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive. Thank you, God. Amen. Take us home.
I see a beautiful sunrise right before my eyes. I feel the day begin and it feels right. I hear my own footsteps walking me outside, and I wonder, what good will this day provide? Thinking about things I've wanted and everything denied. What will be my next conquest to survive? I hear a song that's playing only in my mind, and I wonder, will it heal the pain we hide? You don't have to be a rich man and certainly not poor. All you have to do is pray a little more. Some people say that it's the secret to life, but what it's really for. You don't really get what you want in life, but you really get what you are. I see a beautiful sunset, another day explored. But there may have been some things I might have ignored. Not all things seem like good things, so we can tell them apart. But I wonder, will it bring love right through my heart? You don't have to be a rich man, and certainly not poor. All you have to do is pray a little more. Some people say that it's the secret to life, but what it's really for. You don't really get what you want in life, but you really get what you are. You don't have to be a rich man, and certainly not poor. All you have to do is pray a little more. Some people say that it's the secret to life, but what it's really for. You don't really get what you want in life, but you really get what you are. You don't really get what you want in life, but you really get what you are. You don't really get what you want in life, but you really get what you are.
Ah, that was wonderful. And a wonderful way to end this service. So, to all of you at home and all of you who are here, thank you for being Unity Orlando. Thank you for walking with me through this temporal existence. We're here to support one another. Well, next week, Patty and I will be visiting friends in California and celebrating her birthday. She's getting older. Please don't tell her I said that. Next week, Paul Kenny will be your speaker, and he's speaking with the title, Love is Eternal. Yay, we're happy. Okay, let's rise and let's close off this service by radiating into the whole world our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you all.